watching Cafecito Chat con Betsaida LeBron. I'm Betsaida, and you are about to watch the recorded version of the interview that happened at the last Cafecito Chat. And as a reminder, this is only one part of what happens at Cafecito Chat. There's the interview, and then there's the conversation that happens live in the Zoom room. So if you want to be part of the action, you gotta be live in the Zoom. But for now, enjoy the recorded interview. Enjoy the episode. Bienvenidos a Cafecito Chat. So I'm your host, Betsaida LeBron, and I'm absolutely delighted to welcome you to this community. So this is the first ever Cafecito Chat. And so my job is to usher you in, but also explain, like, what is this? What is this that we're doing? So that you understand that you're a part of a vibrant and growing community of storytellers, dreamers, change makers, right? This is a part of what is the ALPFA Greater Sacramento Chapter. They are our sponsor for this, but really this is us. This is bigger than that. It is what we choose this to be. So every month, I invite you to come into these intimate and heartfelt conversations with some truly remarkable guests, and today is no different. Right? I ask them to share some insights, share their personal journey, and we get to hear a little bit about their personal stories. And so the format of what is Cafecito Chat is really unique. So we're here for 15 minutes. That's it. It's quick. But it is 25 minutes, the first half of an interview where that's me and the guest, right? And then the second half, the 25 minutes after that, is then a conversation that's facilitated with everyone. And that's where I'll invite you to unmute if you'd like and contribute to the conversation, right? So if you are so inspired by what we're talking about, and that's the hope, is that we start to cultivate a group here together. So that's what makes it truly special. This first interview piece is recorded. You got that announcement when you came in, and that will be posted so that is on our channels. But the conversation, that is off the record, and that is just for us who showed up here to the Zoom, right? So it is a safe and supportive environment for us, right? And so why did I decide to call this Cafecito Chat? Well, because in la cultura latina, cafecito represents so much more than just coffee, right? Literally, cafecito is a little coffee, but cafecito is so much more than that. And it's really about authentic connection, gathering together around a coffee table, sharing with friends, with families, right? It's an opportunity to slow down and truly connect. And that's really what the vibe of this space is supposed to be. So whether we're gathering around and delving into some of those serious, important topics or just a little bit of chisme, right? It's the same. It happens around Cafecito. And so that's the vibe. And so I want to thank you for being here. And I hope that you feel like this is a little home away from home where you can kind of fully be yourself. This is not going to be a corporate coffee date. This is un cafecito. So I hope it feels different because it is different, right? So again, my name is Betsaida LeBron. I am the EVP of Professional Development with the ALPFA Greater Sacramento Chapter. But I'm also the founder of ImprovEQ and the creator of the Playful Leadership Model. So a lot of the work that I do, I specialize in teaching emotional intelligence, team dynamics, and leadership through improvisational techniques. So that's a big part of, like, I'm always about how do we do good work, but playfully. And so that is also the energy behind us getting together, you know? So I am going to invite you to our first guest, right? The first ever Cafecito Chat. I'm super excited. As I said, this is an ALPFA sponsored event. So ALPFA, right, the Association for Latino Professionals of America, the Greater Sacramento Chapter. Our very first guest, which is perfect, I feel, to kick us off, is our president, incoming president, Armando Salud, who, so I'm excited to chat with you about, yeah, what's in store for this year. So Armando, say hello.
Hola, hola a todos. How we say it in the Alpha community. Hola, bienvenidos a la familia. Welcome to this chat. Excited to be your first ever. Listen, if this is the guinea pig, I'm happy to be the guinea pig. So excited to be here. Most importantly, thank you to you for putting this all together. Sé que this has been a passion project of yours, and I know it's going to be great. It's going to be a series, for those that don't know, a monthly series with continued amazing leaders. So gracias por escogerme como el primero.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited. And we were kind of talking before we started, and the question, and I'll ask it to you, but I'll also ask to the group. You can put your answers in the chat. Is what's in your cup right now? And that it could be literal. What are you drinking? Or it could be metaphoric. What are you excited about? What are you getting into? So Armando, what's in your cup?
I am literally drinking cafe, but metaphorically, I can tell you that it's a lot of excitement. 2025 is here, new year, new me, como dicen. But I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of tablespoons of uncertainty. There's a lot of waves that we see happening. And so, although excited, there's uncertainty, but gracias a Dios tenemos una comunidad. So that's in my cup today.
I love that. I love that. And I guess I should answer too if I'm making you answer. I am drinking peach tea, uh, herbal, caffeine free. And similarly, I am excited about what's in store for 2025, especially Alpha. And I love how you said like the tablespoons of uncertainty. Is that the yeah, because it's mixed in there, right? Like and like it does have it's adding a little bit of flavor. I think a lot of people are feeling like we don't know, but what I'm always trying to remind us is like, hey, let's focus on what we definitely can control. And what are some of those things that we're kind of making sure we're putting our energy into the right places? Yeah. What can for because you're the incoming president for Alpha. So for folks who maybe are brand new to Alpha or kind of just jumping in for the first time, anything that you wanna share?
Yeah, I think it's important to give some background, a little bit, not too much of Alpha. So Alpha came together, a couple of founding board members came together and founded Alpha Greater Sacramento Chapter. And we're very strategic as calling it Greater Sacramento because we don't want to forget the surrounding areas that really create Sacramento's greater region. That is Yolo County, Placer County, Yuba County, San Joaquin. There's a lot of spaces that get forgotten because of Sacramento being such a huge space and the capital. So we were very strategic when the founding board members came together and said, this is not going to be the Sacramento chapter. This is going to be the Greater Sacramento chapter because all those regions make Sacramento who it is and what it is as we know it. So we turned 3 years this year in July. For those again that don't know, ALPFA, the Association of Latino Professionals for America, is really a space that allows us to create an ecosystem of support for la comunidad, most importantly, right? It's Latino Hispanic inspired, that we
Oh, I
invite
thought
any
it
and
was
all.
a 56.
Oh, there you go. We inspire any and all backgrounds and cultures to come join us and kind of share this directive, this mission, this vision. And so the year one, or as we call it, year zero, was really who are we? Because a couple of strangers came together, thanks to actually Juan Novello, who was the outgoing president and really the mastermind behind of bringing this here, and said, who are we? How are we going to function? Let's see how this happens. So that was what we call year zero. Year one was last year, and we found our voice. We found who we were, what we wanted, established key elements and events. And now we're entering year two. And so what is year two looking like for Alpha? It's gaining membership. It's getting nationally recognized. It's most importantly, it's creating spaces and creating, either knowledge-based spaces or just support to la comunidad. If there's, for those of you that haven't joined any one of our events, really, it's about how can we give back to the community? Because there's so much uncertainty, but most importantly, there's so much lack of information or knowledge that we can share to ensure that we continue to grow this ecosystem as we wish it to be into a collaborative effort. We are not political in any aspect, and we appreciate that, so that there's no politics that get involved in anything that we do or anything that we say.
Yeah, No, that's super helpful context for people to kind of, yeah, understand where Alpha started and where we are now. You know, like we really, this is year 2, so like, you know, we're still like a toddler, but we're walking, right? Like that 2 years yeah, we got
Dicen, what
some
do they
months.
say? It's a terrible twos, and let me tell you, we're about to get into some good trouble, so I'm
So
okay with
I love
that.
I love good trouble. You know I do. Yeah. So thank you for that, and yeah, and definitely shout out to Juan because yeah, really helping make this a reality, and then everybody on the board who's jumped in. I know a lot of the board members are here right now, so shout out to you as well, and our members. There's members who are on the call, and if you're curious about being a member, what does that mean? What does membership mean to those who are interested?
Yeah, there's great question. So, usually when you join an organization or a club, it's you join it for the aspect of, again, getting that wisdom, sharing la comunidad. But actually, Alpha gives you more than that. Depending on what kind of platform you purchase, there's two sort of memberships. It's either a basic or a gold membership. And gold membership gives you access to not just Sacramento region, to the whole nation and Puerto Rico and Canada. So what happens is that when you create your gold membership portal, you create a networking connection to the entire nation and other chapters that are hosted in Canada and Puerto Rico. And with that is not just networking opportunities, it's also if you are a corporate sponsor or someone who wants to work with us, you can put out there, hey, I'm looking to hire someone, and look for someone within that is in leadership or interested in leadership. Or two, you're looking for a job in a specific space, and you can say, where are their job placements or where are their job openings, and there's a portal for that as well. So being a member of Alpha, there has a lot of benefits, not just networking, not just the connections. It's a future finding a future job or finding a future rockstar employee.
I love that. Yeah. And so, okay, so it makes me think of a question for you. So kind of speaking about, because I do think, the for me, some of the best parts of Alpha are the people. It's like the people that I gotten to meet is, we were just talking before we started recording and letting everyone in, just like how lucky we are to be on this team, especially like with the board. There's just some incredible people. Um, can you think of like a moment that you want to share that kind of stands out to you as like a a moment with interaction of people with Alpha, whether that's here at the local, the board, or at, when you guys went to Vegas? I mean, there's many things, but if something stands out that you want to share, just because it's about the people.
Absolutely. Sabes que it's a great question that you shared. I'll share this one that it just happened, but shout out to Brian, Rico, Brenda, Diana, Vidal, who else is on here, and yourself, that are all part of our board here for the Greater Sacramento. The more I get to know each and one of you, the more I'm in awe. I'm like, dang, they're all chingones in their own right. And I share that because just that last week I was able to support Brenda Diana and her family on opening their business and expanding their business. And it's that support system, right? Of saying, hoy por ti, mañana por, ¿cómo se dice? Hoy por ti, mañana por mí. It's
Yeah.
a support system. But you know what was really empowering? When we were at the Las Vegas National Leadership Conference nationally, there was, Juan, you might have to chat on this to confirm. I believe there was 6,000 Latinos, Hispanics in one space. And for those of you that like to, party, have a good time, uh, we sold out. I don't me acuerdo cuál club it was, and it was all us. And what happened was they were very strategic. We bought out Omni, and it was very strategic because they told us, in order for you to get in, you have to wear all white. So you knew who you were part of when you walked in. And it was just mesmerizing to see Omnia. There we go. It was mesmerizing to see Alpha's name all over that space and club, and just seeing that everyone here is a true leader on their own right. And that was powerful to be together cohesively, celebrating everyone's successes as Hispanics and Latinos, people of color, most importantly.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I know I didn't go to Vegas. Um, but I saw all the stories and I have FOMO bad, I must say, because you all look like you're having the most fun.
Shameless plug here. We are going back to Vegas this late July, early August for the same. And as a gold member, you can join. So just FYI, shameless plug.
That's not shameless. That's no, like for reals. Because I'm telling you, like I was watching. I think it was Jenny who was sending like pics of like the music was going and the dancing, and I had FOMO bad. I was like, oh, if I was there, I would be throwing it in a circle. Um, really, yeah, good. Yeah, Rico says in the chat, I'm in. Like, um, yeah. What are those dates for Vegas?
I think we could get emails from everyone that joined us. No me acuerdo exact the dates. I don't want to make something up, but we can email the chat group and say, these are the dates. But
Yeah,
first, remember, you have to be a member.
yeah, membership first, but then absolutely dates. And then for those who are watching this recorded later, I will make sure to add the information so you also don't have the FOMO that I had. Yeah, great. Well, anything you said that was the first one that you could think of. Was there another part of like thinking about the people, I mean, that are part of Alpha?
I would say how we're so selfless. And I say that because every time we make an event, it's about who are we gonna support. For example, our most favorite event here at the Greater Sacramento Chapter is the Posada. So bringing, traditions and ensuring that as la gente don't forget our tradiciones and cultura, we have this huge Posada that happens every year. And your entry fee really is a toy, toys, clothes, something that we can give back to a school with children who have some sort of barriers or, low income, so that if they never expected a gift because of their situation, they're going to be receiving it. And I can tell you right now, it almost brings tears to your eyes cuando te dan las gracias los niños after getting a basketball, after getting a toy, after getting a Barbie. It's so amazing, and it really fills up your heart. And this is why we're doing what we're doing, right? It's just, again, creating the space, this comunidad, saying, I am in the space to be able to support you. And that's the ecosystem that we're trying to build.
Yeah. And I love it too about like just kind of the traditions and trying to find different ways to make the traditions kind of fit into what is it we're doing. And just the idea of a posada, right? Like I know we're already in end of January, but I feel like there's so much about like the holidays and that time and just getting a chance to like celebrate and connect. Did you celebrate posadas growing up? Like just in your family? What did you?
I did. After I became a citizen later in life, I was able to go back to my hometown where I was born in Michoacan and enjoy las posadas. So that tradition is definitely stuck in a beautiful memory of mine. So I'm happy that we now continue this in adulthood and in a different community.
Yeah, no, and I'm genuinely curious because so for my family, we didn't really do like posadas. Like I'm half Mexican, half Puerto Rican. But we were here in Sacramento, and so I wasn't as connected to like that side of like, my culture as far as like posada. So for me, like being with Alpha was the first time I did a posada. Yeah. What kinds of what do you like? I'm just asking, yeah, to enlighten those of us who maybe haven't had that experience of a posada with
Yeah.
family.
Y sabes que sí, because we as Latinos, Hispanics are together with different cultures and practices too. I mean, I was born in Mexico, and every state in Mexico has their own traditions, right? So in my case, my posada was someone is hosting, a specific family is hosting, uh, almost like a meet and greet or even a support to La Virgencita or to Christ or just some sort of saint a veces. And the best part was not just the specific dinner, because every family who hosted a different type of meal, but it was the dulces that they made. It was the specific candy that they made, and I forget the name of it. That was just, it's made from pumpkin seeds. And it
Oh,
was just amazing. My tia who lives here in NorCal, she makes some, and I feel like maybe this year I'll ask her to make us some so that those that have never had that candy specifically from Michoacan can try it out. But it was just getting together a family, obviously visiting Mexico. It was just for a short period of time. So I think expedited that space of I can't see you during the week, but during las posadas we can see it we can come together and break bread.
yeah, for everyone to come together. Yeah. I think that sounds so good. Like, I don't know what that candy is with the pumpkin seeds, but I do love kind of just pumpkin, all things squash. So I'm like, yeah, please let me know when that is available for tasting. I want a little piece. Um, yeah, we got a couple people to chat. Like, yes, please distribute those little candies. I kind of remember one time when I was a kid, we went to go visit Mexicali. That's where my mom from Baja California. That's where my mom is from, and we did like a piñata, and there was like, there was pozole. But my little kid brain, no one explained to me this is a posada or like, the context. So I just thought, oh, it's somebody's birthday because no one explained to me, right, that this was like there was a holiday aspect to it. So I do notice that we did a piñata at the last posada.
You did, yep.
Is that typical? I genuinely, I feel so ignorant.
No, see, and you know what? It's the beauty of coming together with different nationalities. It's reminding ourselves of or sharing traditions and say, hey, this is what we do. Do you want to implement or whatever the case is? Sí, usualmente siempre hay una piñata, especially for the little ones.
Yeah.
But back then, in Mexico, hacían las piñatas with it was what they make pots out of. So the first time I experienced breaking a piñata with that kind of base, man, let me tell you, I was like, wait, what is this made out of? Steel? Concrete? Because that thing was hard to break. You don't need a palo de escoba like we do here nowadays. You needed like a real palo
Yeah.
to break that thing. And then you had to be careful porque luego se quebraban en pedazos. You could get cut. It was made of the clay pots in Mexico antes.
Oh my
So
goodness.
it's those little memories that you make.
That's fun. Yeah. You're like, yeah. Even like I would imagine like a blindfold might be too much because you're like, you got to see it because you got to give it a good whack. Yeah. I that's yeah. I do love that piece like of all of the different people who like come together and like everybody who's under the umbrella of Latinos and also like you were saying, Alpha's not just for everybody who's Latina. It's broader than that, but we do focus on on Latinos and professionals. But yeah, it's a good reminder because we all are very different, and but we're all people of color and different cultures coming together and learning from each other. Yeah. One of the things this makes me think of, so my one of the times that my dad tried to like show us kind of Puerto Rican culture here in Sacramento, we went we did a paranda. Is that what it's called? Where you do a song and then you go to the next people and you pick them up and you go to the next house, and then by the end you're like a caravan of people.
Oh no, sabes que I haven't experienced that, so no, don't know.
Yeah,
It sounds fun though. Sign me up.
I'm like, if anybody correct me, where my boricuas at on the call? But it was a really yeah, it's a paranda. Thank you, yeah. And so we would play a song, and you would be surprised. People would kind of know we were coming, but not know when we were coming. We would sing at them and then invite ourselves into the house, take them with us to the next house, and that's how. And so I was like, anyway, yeah, culture is all really, really different. And we don't really do that over here. But
all I'm hearing is look forward to a parranda coming to a Alpha chapter near you.
yeah, we got to come up with an Alpha song though, because that's how we did it. We had a very specific song to announce the family. So we got to come up with the Alpha song. We'll work on that. En Guanajuato they call it Callejonada. Okay. Sounds like it's the same, but not quite. Yeah, and I love that. Yeah. Thinking about like traditions and thinking about, creating traditions, right? Because all these traditions start somewhere. Is there anything that you're excited, looking forward to making more of a tradition?
In my personal life or más así como en the Alpha chapter?
And however the spirit moves you to answer.
So yo soy de Michoacán. I was born in Michoacán, and something that's huge tradition there is El Día de los Muertos. And so that's something that unfortunately my family and I don't practice a lot. But I love the meaning of it, right? El Día de los Muertos, what does it mean? And it's remembering your loved one in those happy moments. It's not about being sad. It's about remembering the good moments we've had and shared time with and celebrating. I know I've heard families que you like specifically choose someone each year, and then you make their favorite dinner meal for the family that comes together. And so I think that's something that I look forward to really embracing, and getting back into my roots. I mean, Mama Coco actually was inspired by Pátzcuaro, which is in Michoacán, en Janitzio. And they say que está hermosísimo ahí cómo celebran el Día de los Muertos. And so maybe this year that it's not an election year, I have some time off that I can go and enjoy that tradition and bring back to my family and say, hey, let's not forget about this. Because what happens that when you don't practice tradition, you don't practice the culture, se olvida. And so then then my child might never even know about it, or my child's child. And so let's not forget to continue to be proud of who we are, where we come from, regardless, first generation to fifth, and then say, hay que seguir las tradiciones, because a lot of them are beautiful and they all have a specific meaning.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, and kind of like me, like where I'm like, I want to know more, but it just, I didn't always have the opportunities to see kind of how we were doing things. And so now I feel like as an adult, like I am learning things that I didn't necessarily get formally taught as a kid. So yes, so much of our culture and traditions are, and that's I think actually a perfect way to kind of open it up to the group, to have a conversation. But I want to thank you for being the first guest for Cafecito Chat, kind of starting us off on these chats, getting to share a little bit of your story, sharing your vision for Alpha, and just love what you're doing. I love the focus that you have, and I'm excited to see where you lead us this coming year. But don't go anywhere. Everybody, you guys are welcome to have a conversation. I would love to hear from other folks. Really inspiring me about, want to know, one, if you haven't already told me in the chat, what's in your cup? I just want to know right here, Cafecito Chat, literally or metaphorically. And then I would love to hear about what are those traditions that you're either intentionally keeping happening, or that you are looking forward to making happen.